Just going to start recording, and I'm just going to start by sharing my screen with you. And as I mentioned in the email, I wanted to look at a couple of hands from last week. So that was last Monday, the 24th of January, because I noticed there were a couple of hands where quite a few mistakes were made, and I thought we'd go over those and hopefully learn from those. By the way, I think going over the hands as bid and played is one of the greatest ways of improving your bridge. And if you compare how you played it with someone who did better, see if you think you did the right thing or if the opponents did, or if your other players did. So let's look at board 5 to start with. And this is the recommended bidding on this one. South would open a balanced 2 no trump here. North has got 6 points, so it should be enough for game. And I think North should use Damon first, looking for game in hearts if your partner has 4 hearts. I know your hearts are weak there, but if your partner does have 4 hearts, you may well do better in 4 hearts than in 3 no trump, particularly in view of your singleton club there. So I think you should bid 3 clubs, 3 diamonds, and then 3 no trump. And if we scroll down and have a look at that board, you can see that virtually everyone is in 3 no trump. And most people just made it. One person made an over trick, one person went down, and one played it in 4 hearts. So I wanted to look at this being played a variety of ways and see what you make of it. So let's have a look at the hand, and we can look at how it was played in a number of different ways. Here's one where it went exactly as suggested: 2 no trump, 3 clubs. South bids 3 diamonds, and North bids 3 no trump. And West is on lead, and if I click on the West hand, you'll see that your best suit is clubs there. There's nothing fantastic to lead from, but you do have a 5 club suit, and in fact everyone I think did lead a club against 3 no trump. So let's see how that went. They led the 5 of clubs, and let's switch to look at this from declarer's point of view, and let's try and make a plan on this one. And the first thing I'm going to ask you is, how many top tricks does declarer have? There isn't a poll on this, but just tell me how many top tricks you have. Unmute yourselves.
4, I think, Tony.
I think it's 4, isn't it? You've got 3 spades and you've got the ace of diamonds.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, clearly you're going to make more in diamonds, and you're also going to make some clubs. So that's probably where the best source of tricks is. Clubs is interesting because they've led a club, and let's suppose they play the 10. We can win this one with one of our high honours, and I hope you can see you're going to make a total of 2 club tricks probably. You're going to make one now, and you're going to make another one because you've still got the queen and the jack. Okay. By the way, as declarer here, when the opponents lead a club, you have a choice of winning it with the king, the queen, or the jack. And you may well decide to disguise your strength in the suit, because the opponents may think you're weak and may plug away at clubs, and that may help you rather than, for example, the hearts. You're very weak in hearts. So playing the king here is probably a good thing to do, because it sort of hides the fact that you've got the queen and the jack. In other words, West might think that his partner's got the queen or the jack or both, and might think that that's a good suit to attack. Anyway, you won the first trick with the king of clubs, and you may make a trick later on with the king of hearts, but clearly your best chance to make a number of tricks is in diamonds. And although this was a lesson in finessing, most declarers did not try any diamond finesse. This was a common way that it was played. They led the 5 of diamonds, and you can see that's going to force out the king, but really what you should be trying to do is not let the king make a trick, by finessing from dummy, and very few declarers did that. So this is one way it was played. They played the 10. The king was now forced out. They came back with a club. Here, West allowed declarer to win that trick. I'll just bring up the forehand so we can have a look at all four hands. And now declarer played quite well after this. They played the diamonds. They started with the they started with the ace of diamonds, winning the shorthand. Let's see what's happening here. I just need to move my screen a bit. Okay. They played another diamond, cashed their jack. By the way, when they're playing their last diamond here, they are under a bit of pressure themselves as to what to discard. They discarded a club here, which sort of means they can't make another trick in clubs. Then they played their spades, and they ended up with 9 tricks there. So they made 9 tricks in. If I just rewind this, they ended up with 3 spades, 4 diamonds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and two clubs. So they made 9 tricks. And this really was a hand, especially as this was a topic of the lesson, to try finessing. But as I say, very few people did that. Let's have a look at it being played another time. Again, here the bidding was just 2 no trump, 3 no trump. The opponents led a club here. Declarer won that. And declarer had the right idea here, which was to cross to dummy so that they can finesse in diamonds. And that's what they did. There are very few entries to dummy. In fact, there's really only one outside of the diamond suit, and that is this king of spades. They crossed to the king of spades, and then they led a diamond, but unfortunately they led a low diamond. So the finesse succeeded here, but they're not able to repeat it, and there's no way back to dummy outside of the diamond suit. This particular declarer, and I've removed people's names because I don't want to embarrass anyone, then played some other cards. The king of clubs looks a bit odd, but they came back with a heart, which sort of gives you a heart, although it weakens it means you now have no heart stopper. The problem on this hand is that declarer hasn't got rid of the king of diamonds yet. It's still there, and if they'd been lucky it would have dropped, but it wasn't. So they just sort of took some tricks here, and eventually they lost to the king of diamonds, and now the opponents were able to take their heart tricks and the spade trick, and this particular declarer went down, unfortunately, and only made 8 tricks there. Any comments or questions on that? Another time it was played, there was an intervening bid, and actually I've got a question for you here. South here opened 2 no trump, West overcalled 3 clubs, and assuming that's a natural overcall, there's a poll I'm going to launch. It's the only poll of the afternoon, which is, what do you think North should bid here over 3 clubs? So don't answer verbally, have a little think, and in a moment I'll launch a poll. Okay, let's end the poll, and I will share the results with you. And we've got a divided result, and actually the choices you made, double, 3 diamonds and 3 no trump, I think are all reasonable choices. The 2 bids to avoid there are pass and 3 hearts, but I think there's a case to be made for any of those bids. What would a double here mean? Well, normally when your partner opens 1 no trump, if the opponents intervene and you double, that is primarily for penalties. And that's a reasonable choice here, because you have 25 points, 26 or more points between you. Here are the opponents at the 3 level, and you really don't think they're going to make it. So a double is reasonable. If you do double and your partner bids something, you're not upset by that because your clubs are very weak. But a double is reasonable. The other bid that I think is a good bid there is 3 diamonds. That should indicate a good 5-card diamond suit and shows that you have some points, looking for game there. The other possible bid is 3 no trump. You're not wild about that because you have a singleton club. You're very weak in their suit. But on the other hand, where else are you going to end here playing in which contract? So I think 3 diamonds is good, or 3 no trump, or even double. And if your partner does bid something, you won't be too upset. So on this particular hand, North did bid 3 diamonds, which is a good bid. South bid 3 no trump, and then North unfortunately made a mistake of bidding 4 hearts there. That's very unfortunate. And I won't go through how the 4 hearts went, but it was not a good result.
Tony, if I can interrupt just for a second, Lee here.
Yeah.
So your double bid not really indicating any strength. It's just showing support for the other 3 suits, isn't it?
Not really. So generally speaking, if your partner has bid no trump, has opened no trump, and has therefore showed a hand that made a bid that narrowly describes their hand, most people play that double in that situation is for penalties.
Right, okay.
So I would say a double should be intended for penalties. And here, if you did double, South should pass, because South, you've got excellent clubs, as it happens. But it's a matter of partnership agreement, and it's by no means universal that everyone would play a double there as a penalty double. Some would want it to be some kind of takeout double. But if you were not sure about that, then I think 3 diamonds is a good bid. Yeah, and South did well to bid 3 no trump here. Anyway, that was ended up in 4 hearts, which, as you can imagine, probably did not go very well. Let's have a look at how it was played and played well. And here again, they ended up in 3 no trump. Their bidding was slightly different here. Maybe North-South are playing a different no trump range, but South opened 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 no trump, then 3 clubs Stayman, 3 diamonds, and 3 no trump. And let's just have a look at here. It was played well. They led a club, and Declare won that one. And obviously, to finesse successfully in diamonds, you need to lead from dummy, and there's only one way there, which is the King of Spades. And what you need to do, of course, is to lead a high diamond, so that if the finesse succeeds, you can repeat it. So that's what this Declarer did. They led the Queen, they let it run around, and then they carried on in diamonds. Eventually, the King appears, so you can win that one, and now you're going to make 5 diamonds instead of 4. So that's all you really needed to do on this hand to get a top score, which was to avoid losing to the King of Diamonds. Then let's see what happened at the end. They took their spades, they took a club, and then that's probably going to be it, because the opponent can get in with the ace of clubs, the ace of hearts, and took a club. But nonetheless, that was a top score there, because no one else made 10 tricks on that one. Any comments or questions on that?
Yes, Tony, I wanted to comment on the bidding.
Yes.
South opened 2 clubs, but they haven't got 23 points.
Right. So this would not be my recommendation of how it should be.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that maybe North-South here were playing a different no trump range.
I see.
Some people play, maybe it showed 19 or something points. I don't know, or it was a misbid. I don't know. But nonetheless, they seem to be on the same wavelength. And they got to 3 no trump. This is just
but you wouldn't actually agree with that opening then, Tony, in the system you play.
No, that would be wrong.
Yeah, fine, okay.
Unless they're playing a different range.
Okay, thank you.
So the correct bidding would be like
2 no
shown
trump
here. but you
Yeah.
still end
Okay,
up.
thank you.
I recognise that bid because it was played against us, and it was. I think the two clubs was a Benji.
Okay, so yeah, so
Because
opening two
I
clubs.
asked them, and they said yes, it was 8 playing tricks in their hand, and they play Benji, which means clubs is 8 playing tricks, and the diamond one is the strong one.
Yeah. So playing Benji, opening two clubs and then rebidding two new trump can be used to show a hand of, I think, 20. Obviously, maybe they're playing that as 20 to
Yeah.
21 points or something like that.
Yeah,
Mind you,
I recognise the sequence. Yeah.
I can't see 8 playing tricks in that hand anyway.
No, there are not. So, in other words, if you play Benji, you open two clubs in two situations. One when you have a long one or more long suits, or you open two clubs and rebid two no trump to show a balanced hand with maybe 20 or 21 points. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what they were doing. So it amounts to the same thing. Okay. So anyway, that was one hand where I thought declarers there for some reason did not try the diamond finesse or did not try it correctly. Let's have a look at another one, and this was board 6 from last week, and there are a couple of things here. Everyone here has ended up in 4 hearts on this one, and we'll have a look at in a moment at how the bidding went, and you can see that the best score for North-South went to 3 declarers who made 12 tricks. So that plus 480 gives declarers 10 out of possible 12 tricks, and equally it gives East-West a very bad score of just 2 points out of a possible 12. Most people made 11 tricks, and one person only made 10 tricks. So again, I'd have a look at a few times that this was played and see what went wrong or what went right. So here's one time it was played, and the bidding went 1 heart, 3 hearts, 4 hearts, and the first problem here is what should West lead here? So have a little look at the West hand for a minute, and I don't have a poll on it, but would someone like to suggest what they might lead on this hand? Which card?
A trump.
A trump, okay. Any other choices?
Club.
A club, which club?
Hmm. 2, I think.
Okay.
I'm not
Any other thoughts?
Queen of clubs.
The queen of clubs. Okay. Any other thoughts?
10 of diamonds.
A diamond or a spade? If you lead a diamond, which diamond are you going to lead?
10.
The 10, all right? And someone suggested a spade. Okay. Well, I suppose a case could be made for any of those. Let me go through my thoughts on this. First of all, you don't have a really outstanding lead. You don't have a sequence of honours, which is something you often would like to lead from here. So I don't have any really great lead. Let's look at the leads one in turn. A heart lead is interesting, but there's a real chance if I lead a heart that I may be giving up a trick here. Because I've got the Jack and the 9, and looking at the opponent's bidding, it could be possible that my partner's got the Queen over there. Maybe they've got the Queen and 2 others. And if I lead a heart, I may be helping declarer avoid a heart loser. If I'd had, for example, 3 small hearts, then that's less likely. But having just 2 hearts, it's not such an attractive lead. The other lead I don't really like is a diamond. And if you lead a diamond here, you're either underleading an ace, which is considered poor practice, or leading an ace, which could easily help declarer as well. So I think that the 2 best leads are probably a spade or a club. And if I lead either of those, if I lead a club, the normal lead here is the 2 of clubs. It would be a bad mistake to lead the Queen or another card here. You only leave the queen if you've got a sequence headed by the queen, and you don't have a sequence. You've got the queen and the 10. So that would not be my choice either. In fact, when this was played, nearly everyone did lead the 2 of clubs, and it turns out that that's quite a reasonable lead. It could work out well, it could work out badly, but it works out reasonably well on this hand. Do interrupt me if you have anything else to say. So that's what this defender did. They led the 2 of clubs, and let's have a look at this from declarer's point of view, and have a little think for a minute about how many losers you think you have. We'll count the possible losers from the point of view of declarer, that's the south hand, but taking into account all the strength in dummy, and look at the suits one at a time and try and work out whether you have any possible losers and how you might get rid of them. So let's go through this. In spades, I don't think I have any losers here. I've got 3 top spades, and in fact I've got a 3rd spade on which I could discard something from my hand. Do you think I'm going to lose any hearts?
1 maybe.
You might, yes. I mean, the way to play the hearts here with 9 trump, missing the queen and the jack, is actually to normally just play the ace and the king. And you may lose 1 if they divide unevenly, 3-1, or if you're lucky and they divide 2-2, you may avoid a loser altogether there. Diamonds is interesting. I'm going to lose at least 1 diamond, aren't I? And there is a possibility of losing 2. Because if, for example, you imagine the king loses to the ace, I might win the queen, but I might have another diamond to lose. On the other hand, I've got those 3 spades, and that's going to be a source of an extra trick. I might be able to discard a diamond if I need to on that 3rd spade. What about clubs? Well, in my own hand, I've got 2 losers here, but I'm only going to lose 1 because I can ruff one of those in dummy. So if we go through it again, I've got a definite club loser, a definite diamond loser, and maybe that's it. Or I may also lose a heart. So that's my thinking. I'm hoping to make 11 tricks here. And let's see how this went on a few occasions. So they led the 2 of clubs, and the low club is played from dummy. And this East made a mistake here of not playing the king. Okay, 3rd hand should play high, unless you can see there's absolutely no reason to. But East here has made a bad choice of the 9 of clubs. And now, of course, declarer is delighted, able to win that one with the jack. And now declarer's not losing any club tricks. Okay, so they actually carried on with clubs. They ruffed a club. Okay, then they turned to hearts. They started with the king of hearts. They played another heart, took their ace, and you're lucky on this occasion that the hearts divide evenly. So that's all the hearts gone. And now they've played their other suits. They played the king of spades, the queen of spades, and now they played the jack of spades, and they were able to throw off a diamond there. So that guarantees that you're only going to lose 1 diamond trick here. Now they led a diamond, they played the king, and West here on this hand is about to make a mistake because West let the king go. Now that is definitely the wrong thing to do. If you think about it, on another layout, that could easily lead to declarer making a trick with the king as well as the queen. In other words, if you lead a diamond now, you may make a trick with the queen, which could be a valuable trick. It turns out it's not, but it was definitely a mistake to let that king win. There are situations where it's not right to take your ace. Suppose there's a long suit. You can see it. You don't always take your ace here, but here if you don't take your ace on the king, declarer could lead another diamond and make a trick with the queen. Here it doesn't make any difference because there's always just one diamond. But on a different hand, it could make a difference. So declarer here now switched their attention to trumps, kept playing trumps, and at the end they played a diamond, and they lost that one anyway. But the defense allowed declarer to make 12 tricks there, and the main mistake was not playing the king at trick 1. Do interrupt me if you have any comments or questions on that. Here's another time it was played. This time there was some competitive bidding, and if I bring up the 4 hands, I think that was some very aggressive bidding there. That one spade, I don't really agree with that at all. First of all, it's only a 4-card suit, and secondly, it's a very weak 4-card suit. So that's definitely not the right bid. That's definitely not justified. Nonetheless, they got to 4 hearts just the same. And this time, West made a poor choice of opening lead of the 10 of clubs. Now, I've seen people lead 10s in this kind of situation, and it's definitely a mistake. It's definitely the wrong card to lead. If you're going to lead a club, you lead your 4th highest, and that shows that you have some strength in the suit, 1 or more honours. Here you have the queen and the 10, but not a sequence. So leading the 10 is definitely wrong. If I were East, I would be thinking, what does that lead of the 10 show? It either shows some kind of sequence headed by the 10, or it shows that that's a lead from a short suit, a singleton or a doubleton. Anyway, they made the mistake of leading the 10 here. If you led the 10 in this situation, you need to brush up on your opening leads, because it's definitely wrong. And maybe that confused East, but East didn't play the king again, and West won the, declarer was able to win that trick with the jack again. And I hope, again, you can see that declarers are now likely to make 12 tricks here because they avoided the club loser. This declarer then played trumps. They drew 2 rounds of trumps. They then played a diamond to the king. Here West did better to beat the king with the ace, and they played a spade back. Okay, I don't think it matters too much what they played. But declarer here played their last spade, and on that last spade they played the diamond, which is the right thing to do there. Then they cashed the diamond, played the ace of clubs, and were down to trump. So again, this declarer made 12 tricks there, and Eastwick got a bad score because they didn't take any club tricks. Do interrupt if you have any comments or questions on that. Here's another one. There was no interference in the bidding here, just 1 heart, 3 hearts, 4 hearts. And yeah, this particular West led the ace of diamonds. And if I just rewind it here, I think this is a poor choice, the ace of diamonds. If you're in the habit of leading your aces when you don't have the king, then you really need to get out of that habit. It's something beginners do to cash their aces, but it's very often a poor choice. In fact, if I bring up the GIB button on this, the computer is actually saying that leading the ace of diamonds, or in fact here any diamond, can lead to 2 over tricks. So here, that lead of the ace of diamonds is a poor choice. And in many situations like this, by leading the ace of diamonds, you can see you're giving declarer 2 diamond tricks. Now, it turns out that that may not matter, but leading the ace when you don't have the king is nearly always a questionable choice. Okay, so this is what happened anyway. They led the diamond, and then again West shifted to a club, and again they played the 10 of clubs. And I don't know why people are doing that, why they think that it might be the right lead from queen 10 3-2 to lead the 10. That is a very unusual lead, and it's definitely not what you would consider standard. Again, East didn't play their king. Maybe they were not sure what that 10 was, and again declarer was able to win that trick with the jack and avoid all the club losers. So declarer here drew trumps, took the ace of clubs, were able to ruff a club, and then they played their spades. See what happens. Played the diamond and made 12 tricks again. So again, East-West allowed Declara to make one extra trick, and so they got a bad score for that. Just a couple more times we're going to look at this one. Here's another time it was played. They led the 2 of clubs here. This time East correctly played the king. Declara won the jack. And let's see what happened after that. They started on trumps. They took the king, played a trump back. That's all the trumps gone. Then they played spades. And here Declara has made a mistake, because when that 3rd spade is played, instead of discarding a diamond, they've discarded a club. And discarding a club here, the 7 of clubs, did not avoid any losers. They've always got a club loser here, and they were going to ruff that 7 of clubs. So they made a mistake of, instead of discarding a diamond, of discarding a club. So Declara made a slight mistake on this one. What happened there was they then played a diamond that lost to the ace. West now played a club, and West now made a mistake, because West can see dummy here, and it turns out that Declara is now void in both spades and in clubs in both hands. And if West makes the mistake of leading a spade or leading a club, it gives Declara a chance to ruff in one hand while they discard a loser from the other. I don't know if you can see that Declara at this point has one more potential loser in diamonds. Okay, they've got the queen, but if East-West hang on to the right thing, they will lose another trick in diamonds. But this loser went away because West here made the wrong play of switching to playing a club. And the club allows Declara to get rid of a diamond loser. What they did was they ruffed in dummy while they discarded a diamond, and now they're not going to lose any more diamond tricks. Okay, so they made the diamond and they made 11 tricks there. But West had a chance to hold it to 10 tricks there if they'd have carried on in diamonds. You don't know when you're leading a suit that Declara is going to be able to ruff and discard, but anytime you lead a suit where they're void in dummy, you're taking the risk that you may be presenting them with a chance to ruff and discard. Okay, do try me if you have any comments on this. Let's have a look at another one. Here they led the low club, which lost to the king. This Declara started on clubs. Then the opponent shifted to a spade. Declara here played another club, trying to get that ruff, which they did. And they then played the hearts, and they made a mistake here of trying some kind of finesse. The odds are, with 9 trump, missing the queen and the jack, you should just play your ace and king. But here they played the 10. The opponents were able to get a trick there with the jack of hearts, and now it's actually not too bad for West to play the ace. You remember at the ace of diamonds. Remember at the beginning I was saying don't lead the ace of diamonds, but things have gone on now, and you're worried if you don't take your ace of diamonds, you might not get it. So it's actually not that bad to take the ace of diamonds later on in the play, and in fact that gives you 3 tricks. After that, Declara will finish drawing the trumps, and will end up with 10 tricks. So that was actually the worst score for Declara, because they tried some kind of hard finesse. But the odds favour just playing the ace and the king when you've got 9 trump like this. And finally, last one, where it was played and defended quite well, I think. They led a club here. Declara took the ace, played a heart, played another heart back. That drew the last trump. They then switched to spades, and threw up the diamond there, which was correct. Then lost a club. The opponents, the best they can do is to cash their diamond there, and after that, declarer's just going to cash their winners and take 11 tricks. So that was quite well played, quite well defended there. No one really made any errors on that one. But if you allowed the declarer to make 12 tricks on that one, do have a look at it. As I said, the biggest error was not playing third hand high, not playing the king of clubs there. And it's something I see quite a bit. The other error was leading the 10 of clubs or any other club other than the 2. All of those would be mistakes. Anyone have any comments or questions on those 2 hands? As I said, do replay these. You can replay them in a similar way to the way I've done. If you haven't done that yet, you won't get quite the same display. But you click on here on the play link, for example. The first time you do it, it will come up with this screen saying you need to select your software to play, and you click there on BSOL, and then you can click as you played it by clicking on the link here, and then using these arrows to take you through the line that you played. Or if you want to try it a different way, you can just click on what was had. So here, instead of playing on the card that was actually played, I can decide to click on another card, and then I will play the cards myself. And as each card you play, you'll see how it affects the number of tricks. So this is saying that at the moment the player can make 11 tricks here in that contract. Okay, so I hope that's all okay for you all. Anyone like to ask me any questions about any of that? We'll end the talk there if there are no more questions. Let me stop sharing, and I will